When's the last time that you sat down to work on something important and your brain wouldn't stop running? It was going in like 100 different directions. I know sometimes I feel this way. And today's episode, I'm going to talk about how mental clutter is quietly killing your clarity. And sometimes you feel that you're halfway through an email at work but literally suddenly you remember that you need to follow up with a client or you need to follow up with a phone call or somebody that you need to speak with. Then you think about the meeting that you have tomorrow, the things that you have on your to-do list. And then you're constantly replaying a conversation from last week that didn't sit right with you. And before you know it, the thing that you literally sat down to do is still untouched. You didn't do anything. Does this sound familiar to you guys? Because I know I go through this from time to time. But here's the truth that I want to share with you. You can't think clearly when your mental desktop is covered in too many open tabs. And when I say too many open tabs, it's too many open tabs in your mind and literally on your computer. And the worst part that the mental clutter isn't just annoying you. It's quietly draining and sucking the life out of you. It's sucking out your focus, slowing down your decision making, and making you feel like you've never really caught up to do what you need to do. And you feel that you're all over the place. And you keep scratching your head thinking, why am I feeling this way? Why can I bring this clarity? Why do I feel like I have this fog, right? And I went through a season where my mind felt like it had darn 47 tabs open all the time. And sometimes I feel that way now because I have so much to do within my businesses. And on paper, I was doing great. Like I literally each and every day I write down a to-do list and things that I need to do and I check it off, check it off. But if I don't check off the things that I wrote down for that day, I don't feel accomplished. And so then what happens? You're juggling things around. Maybe you have projects, things that you need to do at home or at work, the office. But the reality is, I myself was so exhausted that I'd get to the end of the day and literally realize that I had been busy for 12 hours, but I couldn't tell you one thing that I actually moved forward. And this is when, at times, when I was at corporate America. I don't go through this every day. I do go through this once in a while when I'm on overload. But the minute I feel that way, I make sure that I get out of that foggy, open 47 tabs in my mind. And sometimes I have that literally on my computer. So one night I was trying to read a book. I like to settle down and not go into my computer, or not my computer, but my cell phone before I go to bed. And I know most of us get that cell phone. Maybe your husband is ready to, is sleeping, your significant other, and then you're wide awake because your mind is going 100 miles an hour. You have all those 47 tabs up in your mind and you're like, okay, I'm going to go through my phone. I'm going to scroll through my phone. I'm going to keep looking. The next thing you know, an hour, 2 hours go by. And then your mind is constantly racing because you were on your cell phone. So, what happens when you go to sleep? You don't have a deep sleep. And then what happens when you wake up? You wake up completely feeling drained. And so what I like to do is before I go to bed, I get a book to help me unwind. And when I have so much going on in my head, I find myself reading the same pages over and over. Not because it's complicated, it's because my mind keeps jumping into the do list that I did not get done, or to an email that I forgot to send, or maybe I didn't have an answer to a decision that I made, or maybe I made a decision with not feeling really clear about it. So that was the moment when I do feel that way. I realize it wasn't the work itself that was completely burning me out. It was the thinking about the work all the time. So why does mental clutter so dangerous to us? And here's the thing. Mental clutter, it is completely sneaky, and sometimes we don't even know that it's happening to us. It doesn't show up sometimes, or maybe it shows up out of nowhere. It builds completely slowly. And if you're in a leadership role, the stakes are higher because mental clutter doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone else. It affects your team, it affects the company, it affects the leaders. And so when your head is completely full of all these 47 tabs, you are hesitant, right? You hesitate longer because actually, you know what you do is like I'm thinking about it right now. You hesitate longer before making decisions, bottom line, or you try to get validation and not making your own decision. You miss small details because your attention is completely scattered all over the place. You default to busy work instead of strategic work because it's easier than trying to think deeper with a noisy mind. You just want to hurry up and get to that strategic work. And you're ignoring this noisy mind that you have. And here's the big one, your team feels it. Everyone surrounding you feels it. They may not say it to you, but they sense it when you are distracted, you're feeling rushed, or you're not fully present. You know what that's called? They feel that energy. They see the look on your face of worried and fearing, your shoulders down. You don't even have to say anything. The people surround you feel it. So the science behind it all is your brain can only hold so much working memory at once. When the space fills up in unfinished loops in your mind, unanswered emails, unmade decisions, unresolved conversation, it literally eats up the capacity that you need for problem solving and strategic thinking. It's like trying to run a complex project and you have all these projects up and running at the same time. What is that going to do? It doesn't give you the clarity. You feel rushed, the anxiety, the worry, the fear, and you don't even know what it is that you need to do next. So, the clarity reset is how do you clear this reset? And here's the process that I give my clients. It's simple, but it's powerful. I love to make things simple. So, the first step is to capture everything. Get every single darn thing out of your head onto paper. Do not type it out. I want you to handwrite it out. When we handwrite things, it's easier to think about what it is that's going on in your head. Work the task. Maybe you have personal errands you need to do, random reminders, a conversation that you need to have with your spouse or your team or significant other or your children, like all of it. You're not sorting it, you're just dumping it, right? When I say dumping it, you're writing it all on paper. And then two is I want you to sort it into three buckets, not now, next, or never buckets, just It's going to be 3 buckets that you're going to put down on the paper. And the now is the urgent, like everything that is urgent and critical to move forward this week. The next is important, but not urgent, like schedule those, right? The never is stuff that you've been carrying for months that doesn't actually matter anymore. Yes, I know that you have these because I know I do. So you're going to put them in three different categories. It's the now, next, and never. The now is the urgent and critical. The next is the important but not urgent. And the never is stuff that you've had on for months and you keep putting it on your to-do list. And if it keeps rolling over to each month or each day over and over and over, that means it's just not important. And then 3 is delegate aggressively. If it doesn't require your expertise, put it in someone else's hands. And it could be if you're in a leadership position, if you're a significant other, whatever is going on, I want you to revisit what is going on each and every day in your mind. And next is the closed loop, like these closed loops that you need to do on a daily basis. Don't let little things pile up. Send the email, make decisions, return the phone call. Every closed loop frees mental space. When you have everything written down, I don't know, I'm probably going to date myself, but there used to be an organization book called the Franklin. And it was the Franklin book that literally helped you prioritize your task in your day to day. And if you didn't check, there's a whole process to it, but I'm not going to explain to you. But I know that if you didn't check off what you needed to do and you carried it over to the next day and the next day and the next day, you're not getting anything done. So write your list. Look at your list each and every day. Create a small list. Don't create like 15, 20 things on your list because you're going to see this long list each and every day, and then you're not going to check them off. Start with the most important ones first. So if it's 5 important things, put that on your to-do list daily. Check them off before the end of the day. So whatever it is that you need to do that day. So when you keep doing this, you become clear. You don't feel like you have 47 tabs open in your mind and even on your desktop. It's important to prioritize so that you can think clearly. And if you don't, and you're not organized each and every day, you keep rolling it over the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And the next thing you know, those tabs go from 1 to 100. So, but you don't have to work that way each and every day. You get to make that decision, but start small. Everyone feels like you have to do all these big things all at once. Start simple. Remember, simple to-do lists. And then maintaining the mental space is once you've done a big mental declutter that we just kind of talked about, keep it that way. And I do an audit each and every Friday for the whole week. So I know what I need to do for the whole week. I have a business schedule, I have a personal schedule, and I know what I need to do along with my to-do list. So by the end of the week, if I haven't accomplished any of the things that I need to do, then I need to get my butt together and get it together. Right? So what has been stuck in like the whole week that you need to accomplish? Like, where do you feel stuck in that week? And then what can you clear before the weekend? Just go back to your to-do list, revisit the week. Before you go into the weekend, make sure it's decluttered. Because if you don't, you shove it to the side, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be thinking about it the whole weekend. And then Monday turns around and then you're right back where you were last week. And I want to close with the reflection of challenge for you. Here's my challenge for you this week. Sometime in the next 48 hours, I want you to sit down and dump every open loop in your brain onto paper. Don't judge it. Don't overthink it. Don't organize it. Just get it out on the paper into a place where you can see it. And then choose the 3 things that you can either complete, schedule, or delegate immediately, or just completely delete it off your list. You will be completely shocked at how much lighter you feel, how much sharper with clarity you feel without adding a single extra hour to your day. And this is the thing. We feel that you're constantly busy. You say you're busy, 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 and you're working 12, 13 hours a day. And what are you busy doing? Did you look at your to-do list? Did you get anything done? Because if you're not checking off the boxes, you're not getting anything done. And the next thing you know, you're so distracted that you feel completely cluttered in the mind. You feel completely exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally. And then what happens? The next step is you feel terrible about yourself. You don't feel accomplished. Remember, you have control of your life. You have control of each and every day. Life is precious, and your mindset is a wand or a weapon. So that weapon is all the clutter, the negative feeling, the sometimes it could be the depression, you're not clear, you're feeling depleted. But that wand is the clarity, the abundance, and the beauty of each and every day that we're living. And the wand and a weapon goes a million different ways that I'm not going to get into. It is important to declutter your mind to bring in clarity because a clear mind makes better decisions, bottom line, and better decisions makes life better, makes leaders better. Do you know that you don't literally have to work at a company to be an executive or a supervisor or a manager because you are your own CEO? I hope that this episode resonated with you. If you like it, please share it with a friend, somebody that you know that can benefit from this episode. It is always my pleasure to help each and every person listening to my podcast each week. I do air every Wednesday. I am so very grateful for all of my listeners. And click the like button, start following me, and spread the love because anything that we could do to help one another is what we need in this world. And again, thank you so, so much. I'm so very grateful. And remember that you have control of the will. You have the power to lead the life that you want to lead. With gratitude, Nancy.